Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK. Back at you with another video here to rate the 5-game NBA main slate on Tuesday. Before I get into the video, if you guys are new to the channel, welcome. My name is DK. I make daily videos and live stream for NBA and NFL slates on Draftkings. If you guys are an NFL fan, well, you're probably happy because we have basically games every single week. We have another 2-game slate tomorrow. So if you are playing that 2-gamer, make sure to check out my video. I already broke down that slate. If you're unable to watch these videos, I also upload on Apple Podcasts. The link is down below. It's called the DK DFS Show. And if you're interested in signing up for premium content, I offer 2 different packages on patreon.com. NFL, NBA, we cover the main and the showdown slates. I would like to thank the sponsor of today's video, Thrive Fantasy. Guys, Thrive Fantasy is a player prop site where you actually build out a lineup on player props. So, for NBA, they have decent-sized contests, $1,500 to first. This is a $20 entry. You pick 10 of the 20 options. The less probable it is to occur, the more points you receive if you choose correctly. So, for example, Karis LeVert, 17.5 points. The over is more likely to occur. So, if it hits, you only get 95 points. The under, less likely to occur, but if it does hit, you get 105 points. So, again, a lot of game theory, and you pick 5 of the 10 props. Or, and this one, 10 of the 20, actually. In smaller slates, the 5 of the 10, this one's 10 of the 20. But if you guys want to give it a try, make sure to sign up and use my code, DKDFS. It's DKDFS, all one word. You get 100% match up to $100. Basically, a free $100 to play with on this site. So, again, make sure if you do sign up to use my code. And as always, I want to thank you guys for your continued support on Twitter, live streams, YouTube videos. Really cannot thank you guys enough. If you do enjoy the free content, just make sure to hit the like button. Let's try to aim for 100 on this one. Subscribe and hit the notification bell. All right, guys, so we have another, should be fun, 5-game NBA slate. But real quick, let's take a look back at my lineup here from tonight. Is Steph Curry serious here? And I see it's a 15-point game. Better not be pulling the starters. And I see the Spurs, low-owned Pirtle, Spurs involved in a blowout too. So probably going to cost me this takedown. Normal game from Steph Curry, and I could be winning the big tournament, right? So I use Halliburton, Otto Porter Jr. low owned, Chesney Metu, Enes Freedom, Buddy Hield, Draymond Green, Pirtle. So on Patreon, I was told everyone I was just full stacking Sacramento Golden State because if this game stays close, it has a lot of upside. And you saw the upside it has, right? Because the game stayed competitive. The Sacramento just ran a super tight rotation. Really hope these Stars do not get pulled here with the last 3 minutes. If they stay in the game, I'm definitely taking this down. But knowing my luck, they will get pulled. And I got a low-owned Pirtle blowout there as well. So, yay. All right, we'll see if I can end up taking that down. Most likely not, knowing my luck. But let's take a look at the Thunderdome. So, Thunderdome, this is the winning lineup right now, only 270. Marcus Smart, Caruso is 83% owned. Did get a little bit lucky fading him, got injured. Buddy Hield, injuries suck. DeMar DeRozan, that game was a blowout too. DeMar DeRozan, 83% owned. Freedom, 100%. I told everyone on Patreon, I was like, if I was building 150 lineups, I would play 100% Enes Freedom. Lonzo is really good at low ownership, even in a blowout. Barnes, and then Tyrese Halliburton is the winning lineup right now in the Thunderdome. So hope you guys had a good night. It's going to be a good night for me. Possible takedown, but these blowouts will most likely hold me back. So let's talk about this 5-game slate. We'll first start off with Indiana. So on the Pacers side, we have bonus at 10.6K. I mean, the price does not really stand out. He is playing big minutes. Miami, even though they're thin, it's still not necessarily the best matchup. They play slow, so more of a contrarian play. We do have Malcolm Brogdon coming back, so thankfully we don't have to deal with Brad Wanamaker chalk. That just never, ever works out. But yeah, Malcolm Brogdon, the guy who can stuff the stat sheet. viable, but like again, doesn't stand out. Levert's too pricey with Brogdon coming back. Miles Turner at almost 7K. It's just a secondary play for me. Chris Duarte at 4.9K. Definitely takes a hit with Brogdon coming back. So the Pacers as a whole, pretty unappealing. Not much I'm liking. On the Miami Heat side, so we have no Jimmy, no Bam, no Oladipo, obviously no Tucker now, no Martin, no Morris, and possibly no Hero. Has been questionable the last couple of games. He's most likely getting close to return because, again, he's been questionable the last couple of games, has not played. So let's start at the top of Kyle Lowry at 8.7K. I think he's a fair play. He still has a relatively low floor, even with all these guys out. But he's a guy that is going to play big minutes. He's going to probably get close to double-digit assists. He's a decent rebounder. So I think he's a decent option, but not a must-play. And then we have the value of if Tyler Hero's out, these guys are going to look a lot better. So Gabe Vincent at 5.8K. I mean, he's played pretty well, but I don't love the price point. He should play low to mid-30s minutes. Dwayne Dedmon at 5.3 probably gets mid to high 20s minutes. He does have upside, so I think he's a decent GBP play. And then, unfortunately, we have to deal with these score-independent players in Robinson and Max Struss. Robinson, I mean, you guys know the drill by now with him, right? He has to hit his shots to get value. If he's not hitting his shots like he did last couple of games, he has a low floor. If he does hit his shots, hit some shots like he did against Philadelphia, he has a ceiling. And then Max Struss, basically the same thing. So Max Struss has shot the ball well last couple of games. He's gone for 45 and 34 fantasy points. All I'm going to say here is be careful, right? I have a feeling, based on those last couple of games, Max Struss is going to be the chalk tomorrow. If Max Struss is chalk, I am fine going elsewhere, right? I don't think he's a bad value play, but if he's going to get a ton of ownership, I think there's other ways we could go on the slate. And then the GOAT, Yurt Goat 7, has been getting some decent backup 5 run. He's a good point per minute guy, a viable contrarian value play. And then without PJ Tucker, that's a lot of minutes to go around. So we'll see what Miami does. I would guess KZ Okpala starts. If he does, he's playable. The only issue is he's not a good point per minute guy at all. They dusted off Marcus Garrett for some minutes last game, but I don't think I want to go there. So, Miami as a whole going to be pretty shorthanded tomorrow, especially if Hero's out. If Hero's in, definitely downgrade the Miami value. So, again, that's a big piece of news to monitor. Detroit and the Knicks. So, Cade Cunningham, 8.6K. He has a ceiling. He's also shown a low floor, too. The matchup's not the best, so I think he's in play for tournaments. He only shot the ball 4 times last game. He did foul out. He was in some foul trouble. Again, though, he does provide a ceiling. So if you want to go to him as a contrarian play, you can, but the price does not stand out to me. Now, I don't hate going to Sadiq Bey. Again, when I play him here at low ownership, 26 minutes, 9 fantasy points without Jeremy Grant when I play. Look what happens when I don't play. 50, 38, 35. But yeah, the minutes are there for him, right? He's playing big minutes. He's definitely stepped up with Jeremy Grant out besides the game that I played him. So if you wanted to go to him in the mid-range, I'm not going to say no. Isaiah Stewart, you can play him in tournaments. He's just always in foul trouble. So I don't know if I want to deal with that headache on the slate. Now, the value for the Pistons is interesting here. Killian Hayes, I think, is kind of sneaky. I think box score watchers might look at that last game and be like, oh, I'm going to avoid Killian Hayes. He picked up 3 fouls in 2 minutes. If you played Killian Hayes last slate, you got insanely unlucky. He was a really good contrarian value play. Now, sure, right, this is still in his range of outcomes. He can still bust for you even at this price. But the minutes, he should play over 30 minutes. So I kind of like Killian Hayes for value. If you want to take a dart on Hamidou Diallo and hope he hits the shots, I'm not going to say no. Again, though, pretty score independent. You can take shots on Frank Jackson off the bench, I guess. God, this Pistons team is just horrific. Moving on to the Knicks. So the Knicks, another team that could be pretty shorthanded. Rose is questionable. Game time decision. I believe RJ Barrett, Grimes, Knox are still out. They have them listed as questionable, but I believe those 3 and Toppin are still out. We'll keep an eye on that. So if all the questionable players are out for the Knicks, well, might be Kemba Walker season again. I played him at super low ownership, and someone told me at the beginning of the day that I fell into a trap, and that I was paying the rake for playing a low on Kemba Walker. Well, you see what he finished with? Yeah, sure. I guess I'm paying the rake. But yeah, Kemba Walker played 37 minutes last game. So if he starts, if all these questionable guys are out again, I'm fine firing him up. He's probably going to have to play big minutes. Now, Randall, it's a good spot, but like he hasn't paid off his salary in a while, kind of like Steph Curry. So it's just a GBP play for me. Alec Burks is going to play huge minutes, but 7.6K, that price does not stand out. God, this makes me want to puke, but I kind of like Fournier if all these guys are out, guys. He played 43 minutes. Now, sure, that last game was definitely an outlier. He's not going to shoot 13 of 24 most likely, but if he's going to play 40-plus minutes, I'm fine going to Evan Fournier. The two centers will split the minutes most likely with Robinson and Noel, so neither really stand out to me. And yeah, that's really it for the Knicks. Like Taj Gibson got a little bit of run, but again, if all these questionable guys are out, they're going to run a really tight rotation. Portland and New Orleans. So I'm not going to lie, guys. I am super excited for this game. You want to know why? Two of my biggest boys going up against each other. We get to see Yusuf Nurkic versus Jonas Valanciunas. I cannot wait. But we'll start on the Portland side. So Damian Lillard, 9.8K, is actually questionable with a hamstring injury. If I had to guess, I would say he doesn't play. Hamstrings usually not great. Like, usually takes a little bit to heal. So we'll keep an eye on that. If Damian Lillard can't play, it's going to be a big boost to everyone in this offense. Most likely, Simons would start at 4.5K. If he does, he would be a great value. Nurkic. So I played a low on Nurkic last night. He played 34 minutes, 20 fantasy points, 7 turnovers. So get your notepad out. Lock this in. Yusuf Nurkic is absolutely smashing tomorrow because of what he did to me last game. So, again, pen, paper, just take a little note. Yusuf Nurkic, 50 bomb tomorrow. Lock. Yeah, no, seriously, like, he's playing big minutes. Like, this game against Charlotte, 15 minutes, he fouled out in 15 minutes. So, if he stays out of foul trouble, this is a big front court, too. He's going to play, like, low to mid-30s minutes, which I think makes him a really solid play. Now, Norman Powell would look a lot better if Dame gets ruled out. He's playing like 40 minutes a game. He's still scoring dependent, but like he's going to shoot the ball a ton. And then the secondary plays for guys like Nance, Covington, Little, all look decent. Little has played, 35, 30, and 36 minutes last 3 games. That looks decent. Covington has been getting some solid run off the bench, so I think those two wings look pretty good. Probably it for me, though, on the Portland side. Moving on to the Pelicans side, so Brandon Ingram, 8.9K. I mean, he's just going to play close to 40 minutes. I have no issue going to him against Portland. I think the ownership's going to be relatively low, but again, this game looks pretty appealing for a stack. Jonas Valanciunas is too cheap at 8.3K. Played 40 minutes last game. He's probably going to play mid-30s minutes in this one. So, like the top 2 guys there for the Pelicans, and I really like Josh Hart too. Now, leaning towards probably playing Josh Hart tomorrow. So, again, pen and paper, lock this in. 7 points, 2 boards for Josh Hart tomorrow because I'm most likely going to play him. Okay? Because that's the last time that I played Josh Hart. He had 7 points and 2 boards after just stuffing the stat sheet every other game. So, again, that's another lock for tomorrow. Devontae Graham, 5.4K. I mean, he's played more minutes recently, and he's played pretty well. For GPPs, I think he's firmly in play. And then Nickeil Alexander-Walker off the bench probably gets, somewhere around mid-20s minutes. I think he's playable. He has not shot well at all this season, but the positive is he's still getting shots up. 18, 16, 10, 17. So, yes, guys, the season is hurt for NAW. I expected a lot more from him. So I'm hoping he can turn it around soon. I am, because I still believe in this guy. He just had a rough start to the season. Herbert Jones, I mean, he's playing big minutes too. Good defender, so I think he's a fair contrarian value play. Minnesota and Dallas. So Minnesota, another team. Okay, here's another one. I have played relatively low-owned DeAndre Russell last couple games with no Anthony Edwards. Average game, bust. So, pen, paper, D'Lo, 50 bomb tomorrow because of what he's done to me last couple slates. Karl Anthony Towns, though, Dallas is in the front court. He should be able to feast. So, I think he's a good spend up. Again, D'Lo most likely going to smash. But there are a lot of guys out. Pat Bev out, Anthony Edwards out. So I still like D'Lo, even though he's been a huge letdown for me the last few games. And Malik Beasley most likely starts and plays low 30s minutes. I think he's a pretty good value play. The only issue with him is he's relatively scoring dependent. As far as the other value goes for Minnesota, so I'll mention a sneaky play in large field tournaments, and that's Jalen Noel. This is a Summer League GOAT. If you guys played Summer League DFS, we were just running Jalen Noel and Jaden McDaniels like every single slate. He's aggressive when he's on the court. And he's a guy that, can fill up the stat sheet. He's only 3.3K. Without Pat Beverly now, too, I think he's kind of interesting. Like, they might start, like, Bolmaro. They're probably going to start someone weird here for Minnesota, but if I was going to take a dart and someone, like, cheap, it would be Noel. Also, McDaniels is relatively cheaper at 3.4K. I think he's playable, too. If he can stay out of foul trouble, he probably plays close to 30 minutes. So those two, I think, are playable for salary relief. On the Dallas side, it's another team that's shorthanded. No Luka, no Kleba, no Bullock, no Willie Cauley-Stein, no Josh Green, and Porzingis is questionable. So, Porzingis left the game last game but did not return. I would say he does not play. If he does play, I think he's a good spend-up, should play mid-30s minutes and be very high usage. If he's out, well, Jalen Brunson at 7'4 looks great. He played 39 minutes last game. We probably get mid-30s minutes from him. A guy can stuff his stat sheet. He looks really, really good. Guys, last couple games, Tim Hardaway Jr. has played 40 minutes, 40 and 41 for THJ. Now, he's kind of stuffed the stat sheet. And if we're going to get 40 minutes from Tim Hardaway Jr., I'm fine paying that price point for him. Dorian Finney-Smith also mostly plays big minutes. The only issue is he's not the best point per minute guy, so he's more of a secondary play for me. Trey Burke might be asked to play a little bit more. I think he's an interesting contrarian value play. And then the bigs, right? They're going up against Karl-Anthony Towns. So Porzingis is out. Like, they're going to have to play these bigs a decent amount. I would think Dwight Powell might push for 20-plus minutes. I think he's an interesting value play. Again, not the best point per minute guy. They did sign Marquise Chris, but he is on the Portland side. Draftkings has not moved him to Dallas. And then they have Moses Brown and Boban that actually might get minutes here, right? Because, like, outside of Dwight Powell, they have, like, no one else if Porzingis can't go. So if you want to take a shot in Boban at the flat min price, I think it's doable because if Boban sees the floor, he could crush. And finally, Phoenix and the Lakers. So we have Devin Booker back. He did only play 26 minutes last game. Again, it was a blowout. I think they're kind of going to take it easy on his minutes first couple of games back. We'll keep an eye on that. If there's news that he's full go, then I'm fine playing him in tournaments. Chris Paul just too pricey for me at 9-1. 8 and 8-2. I mean, he should be able to dominate the glass here against the Lakers, so I'm not going to say no, but would have wished he was a little bit cheaper. The secondary plays are all priced up a bit from when Booker was out, so probably not going to touch the value here for Phoenix. And finally, the LA Lakers, another team that is very short-handed. No AD, no THT, no Bazemore, no Dwight, no Monk. So we'll start with LeBron and Westbrook. These guys are going to play close to 40 minutes. I think LeBron is the guy I feel safer about. He's 11-1, but again, pretty safe play in the slate. Westbrook, the riskier option, but these two are going to play huge minutes. And then we got to talk about the value here. All right, so Isaiah Thomas actually started last game. He played 32 minutes. I think he's in play for tournaments. If we're going to get 30-plus minutes from IT at 4K, he can get hot. He's a decent scorer. Wayne Ellington at 3.9K, 38, 30, and 36 minutes. Playable. Again, though, not a good point per minute guy at all. DeAndre Jordan against a big Phoenix front court might have to play a little bit more, but I said the same against Chicago. He started, but did not start the second half, so he didn't play a ton in the second half, which worries me a little bit. If DeAndre Jordan starts, I have a little more confidence in him. If he comes out the bench, I'm probably not going to go there. And then we've got to talk about a couple other guys. So Rajon Rondo has quietly played 22 and 24 minutes last couple games. He's the guy that can fill up a stat sheet. The Lakers had a lineup out there of Rondo, Isaiah Thomas, and Russell Westbrook. What on earth is going on? But for GPPs, I think he's playable. Trevor Ariza, first game, only played 15 minutes. I'm probably not going to go there. They're going to take it easy in those minutes. And that's really it for the Lakers. So, yeah, guys, should be a wild 5-game slate, and most likely we'll get news after I make this video that completely changes the slate. But, yeah, guys, thanks again for checking out the video. Really do appreciate it, and I will see you all in the next one.